Houses rising by 100k a month. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this article written by Alex Turner-Cohen from news.com.au about suburbs where houses have gone up 300 grand in 3 months, so $100,000 a month. Now, this is not going to be normal homeowning areas of Australia, guys, okay? This is going to be Sydney. This is going to be where normal people can't afford to buy a house unless you make sacrifices that a lot of people aren't really comfortable doing. You're not going to be able to afford to live where your parents did anymore many times, you know, with one person working and not doing as many extra hours. Life is not like it was back then, guys. So, house prices, suburbs, rise by $300,000 in 3 months. In the last 3 months of the year, the properties in these suburbs jumped by hundreds of thousands of dollars with no signs of slowing down. Yes, but are these $3 million properties or $3 million suburbs? In the past 3 months, when property prices should have been cooling down as the end of the year neared, a few suburbs saw their median property value soar by $200,000. 2 suburbs even skyrocketed by $300,000 compared to their prices in the previous quarter, which is a rise of $100,000 per month, according to a report by property analysis firm Hot Spotting. Perhaps unsurprisingly, all of the properties were from Sydney. More so, they were from areas already considered some of the most affluent in the capital. An extraordinary uplift of between 10 to 20% since October has seen homes in some suburbs in the North Shore, Northern Beaches and Eastern suburbs jump to levels never seen before. 2 localities in the city's south also scraped in. The average home in the ritzy suburb of Rose Bay went from $3.8 million to $4.09 million over the past 3 months, while Northbridge in Sydney's lower North Shore lifted from 4.1 to 4.3. Meanwhile, North Bondi leapt from 3.3 to 3.58 million. Okay, these houses are not for average people. If you're able to afford a $3 million to a $4 million house, awesome. Good work. I hope you're not going to do it right at the edge of your financial capacity, so if there's one little hiccup or interest rates jump up a little bit more and you tumble over, no one's going to feel sorry for you. If you have the capacity to earn enough money to warrant buying a house like this, you should have the sensibility to plan ahead and have a diverse source of income streams to manage it. So I really shouldn't be worried about it. You know, that's the thing, guys. It's an exciting title, and sure, property is going up everywhere, but particularly in Sydney. And, I mean, that's this year. It's running out. And you've got some areas that will always be in demand. There will always be people wanting to get there for the status, for the schools, for the location. So Guyma Bay and Kogarah, based in Sydney South, rose by 200,000 to rest at the same final number of 1.62 million. Manly over in the northern beaches zoomed over 300,000 mark to 3.5 to 3.8, as did Killara in the North Shore, going from 3.3 to 3.63. But despite the overwhelming numbers, the newly released price index predictor report named the Queensland city of Ipswich as the ultimate winner in terms of national growth. Really, in Ipswich. Now, I actually went to the Switch yesterday. We went there. We just happened to go to, there's a shopping centre, Orion, that has a pool there and everything. And we thought we'd go there and check it out and take the kids for a swim. And it was fantastic. It was really good. Then we went into the middle of the Ipswich. We went to an old church there, and it was beautiful. It felt like a cathedral. It was huge. And we went and got some food and had Christmas in Ipswich. They had a whole tree set up, live music, an installation, people everywhere. It was wonderful. It was really impressive. They've really put a lot of effort into it. And, you know, to be quite honest, that's the first time in living here I've ever actually been to Ipswich proper and spent some time walking around the city, seeing the historic part of Ipswich. I spent more time in Longreach, middle of nowhere pretty much, than in Ipswich, which is just up the road from Brisbane. So let's have a look at this, because I was quite impressed, because there were some beautiful houses there. What was scary, though, was driving along the river, and it said, warning, this road is subject to flooding, and you look down the side of a bloody 10-metre cliff down, and you're just thinking, okay, if this road is subject to flooding from that river, Yeah. Anyway, Sydney was ranked in the top 10 for a city experiencing phenomenal growth. However, the unassuming Queensland town of Ipswich stole the number 1 position. Justifying the decision, the report's author, Terry Ryder, wrote, "Large municipalities on a growth path usually have a few exceptions to the upward trend, a few suburbs which, for various reasons, haven't joined the party. But Ipswich provides a rare departure from this norm. For the second consecutive quarterly survey, all 19 LGA's suburbs are classified as rising markets. Sydney, in contrast, has 658 suburbs, and only 57 of them have lifted by 20% or more in the past 12 months. Other cities that got an honourable mention included the Queensland localities of the Gold Coast, Logan, and the state's tropical north." Well, yeah, Queensland is going off, guys. And Ipswich, I mean, you have to be aware there are some subsurface mining issues there, so you got to check what you're buying. But, you know, it's close enough to Brisbane that you can commute. You can commute pretty easily if you need to. And there's a big growth corridor. There's a lot happening. Western Australia's Wanneroo City, South Australia's Salisbury, Victoria's Hume City, the Northern Territory's Palmerston City, as well as New South Wales' Hunter region, also featured on the list. The report stated that Sydney is thumbing its nose at the pandemic and all the disruptions it brought by continuing to exceed expectations during and after its 106-day lockdown. Now, here's the issue, guys. We've spoken about this again since the beginning of the pandemic, that we've got a 2-speed economy here. We're going to have a recovery that's K-shaped. There have been people that have worked entirely through this pandemic and haven't even been affected. This is just exacerbating the class divide between those of us who can work at home and those who can't. So you've got all these people there that are at wit's end, and then you've got these other people that can't seem to appreciate why these people are desperate. Of the 57 suburbs that jumped more than 20% of their value over the last year, 13 of them were from the Northern Beaches. The best growth for the year to date was Narrabeen, where the median house price increased 42% to $3.2 million in 2021. 4 other suburbs, Dee Why, Manly, Manly Vale, and Seaforth, saw their prices rise by between 31 and 39%. Other standout suburbs across the country, which were classified as supercharged, include outback towns like Broken Hill and Boulder. Smaller New South Wales regional centres, Moree, Gunnedah, Glen Ellis, made the list, as did Queensland towns of Kingaroy and Maryborough. Murray Bridge in South Australia is another inclusion. Well, there you go, Murray Bridge. What do you reckon, guys? What do you reckon? Let's have a talk about this. Now, one thing that's interesting here is that we're seeing a lot of regional properties, regional centres that have shot up. Now, Ipswich is not that far from Brisbane. You could commute there if you needed to. And you'd get a lot more bang for your buck, honestly, living in Ipswich than in Brisbane proper. But what about some of these other areas? Are we going to find people that are making the tree change, as we talked about in a video earlier this morning? Are they going to get frustrated and return back home? What do you reckon? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Check out this video about a tree change affecting regional property. And it looks like that's what we're seeing here. And if you're from Ipswich, you did a bloody good Christmas installation this year, guys. Good work. Take care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.